My dear friend is expecting her very first child, which means I have the perfect excuse to sew and quilt a baby blanket. I'm going to shop my stash, design it, quilt it, and put a binding on for the very first time. But the key here is that I have a week to do that. So let's get into it. Okay, so I started by pulling out all of the fabric that I have in my stash that could be appropriate for a gender neutral baby blanket. I have a lot of fabric left over from a blanket I made about 2 years ago for another friend's baby. And for that quilt, I went a lot brighter. So I have these 10-inch squares left over, but they're a lot brighter than what my friends are wanting for now. Right now it's more gender neutral, beige, rusty colors. And while some of this may actually work, I might go for something that's a little bit calmer. I have these ones right here that could work. I have some sort of like beige taupes. I have a plain blue. Uh, this is a thrifted baby blanket that I can make into some maybe burp cloths. And then this one's a really pretty, just sort of neutral color. And then this blue, white, and beige. So I am going to try to figure out a design that is not too chaotic, matches their aesthetic, and will also be easy to make. I'm currently having a really hard time deciding which colors to use because I really want to respect the fact that my friend is an artist, and so her color scheme and palette is typically impeccable. And while I typically go for really, really bright colors, she is not a bright color person. And so I want to respect her taste and I guess just sort of like the overall aesthetics that moms are going for right now. I know a lot of things are gender neutral, they're muted colors, but gosh, I love bright colors for baby quilts. I wish I had more of this fabric. It's cute little squirrels. These are all Robert Kaufman fabrics that I purchased about 2 years ago. I think they're called the Flora and Fun series. And I have maybe about 5 yards of this fabric, which is what I'm going to be using for the backing, unless I decide to go for not use any of this fabric and just do something completely different. But these are the ones that I have found so far that are sort of more of the gender neutral uh, taupe and cream and beige, but with a little bit of color too. I haven't decided whether or not I want to do just squares. These are all cut from the 10-inch squares, so they're all 5 by 5. And for the previous baby quilt that I made, I had strips of white in the middle. It was super cute that way. You can see there's one right here that's left over from the other baby quilt. It was a 5 by 5 square. And then there were, I think it's 2.5-inch strips between them. And so I have a little bit of that left over. So I'd like to use that, but I'm not beholden to it. I really want something that is going to be used. And I'm just having a hard time trying to figure that one out right now. So I'm going to keep playing around with the different combinations that I can come up with. And then we'll either start ironing and cutting or we'll just start sewing. Okay, so I have gone through my stash and I have found a lot of like really pretty gender neutral sort of browns, beige, this beautiful ochre color, and a couple of other neutral colors too. I'm still not sure what I'm going to use for my backing, but what I'm going to do is I am going to cut everything up into 5 by 5 inch squares, including the gingham, and then we're going to do a layout and see what it looks like. If you're a Katie Cat Studio newsletter subscriber, then you already know that I've been working on this baby blanket for a minute. Each week, newsletter subscribers get a sneak peek into what I'm working on, a content update, and my recommendation for the week. Usually, I review and recommend a tool, but sometimes I even recommend a book that I just finished. There's a link in the description of this video if you're interested in joining my free newsletter. So here is the pattern that I have come up with considering the fabric that I had on hand, my friend's color palette, and just like the overall feeling of it. I really love how the plaid came out with the other colors. So I'm using the cute little squirrels. There's like this brown bunny fabric, and then there's this like ochre bugs. So I'm using 3 different of the Robert Kaufman fabrics with like a taupe. Maybe it's not quite an ivory, but it's like off-white, sort of greenish, gray, however you want to look at it. It'd probably change colors depending on like the color of like the wallpaper or the painting on the walls. So it's sort of like a definitely gender neutral, but also just like a neutral color in general that would go with just about anything. I don't know. What do you think? I think when it is all sewn up, it'll be about 30 by 40 inches, which is exactly what I'm going for. So now that I have the top all finished sewing together, I made a quilt sandwich, which includes the backing, which I went with the okra bugs, the sewn top, and the batting in the middle. So next on the list is to quilt the whole thing together. Yeah, now's a good time to go. You might have heard my partner in the background asking if I wanted to go for a walk, but first I wanted to do is to check out this new foot that I got for my sewing machine that I'm hoping will actually help me quilt the quilt a lot faster. It finally stopped raining and it was way too beautiful to spend the entire day inside. So my partner and I went for a walk to check out the center forest where I observed a whole bunch of moss and lichens. The mushrooms were out in full force and we even snagged a couple of chanterelles for dinner tonight. This is where my good luck ran out because while I didn't really show a lot of this on camera, this was only the first time I ended up sewing this. I sewed this, I didn't like the way that it came out. I picked out all of the stitches and then I did that over and over again because it just would not come out the way that I just wanted it to turn out. Sometimes projects just don't go the way that we expect. However, I did learn a lot in the process of this. And the main thing that I learned is that I really need a walking foot for my machine, which will be the next business purchase I make. Even though this project took a lot longer than I was expecting, I persevered, I finally finished it, and now it's time for the reveal. Also, please disregard what I'm wearing right now because it's cold, it's rainy, and I just didn't care enough to wear anything else other than this. But look at that. It came out pretty good. It's not my best work. And it's because I'm still really new to this. A lot of things didn't come out as straight as possible because those checks, well, it was a much lighter fabric than the quilting cotton that I'm used to, and it kept moving, but it turned out okay. I really love how the okra came out. I love that I used the lighter binding on the back. I think that made it look really neat. But the one thing that I would really do differently with this one is that I would make my quilting spacing a lot closer together. And because I learned so much with this last one, I made another one with all the fabric that I also had. It's other Robert Kaufman fabric, it's a little bit more brown, and some of the checks, and this one came out even better than the last one. I learned a lot from the first one, and so I put my sewing stitches, my quilting stitches a lot closer together. I did this, like, 1.5 square, uh, design, and wow, it just came out so good. I haven't washed this one yet, so it doesn't have the crinkles in it, but that this one I think is the one that's going to be the present because it came out so much better than the first one. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the first one yet. It might just become Bengal Spice's new blanket, but that's what it came out to be. Confession time right now. I actually have become obsessed with making quilts and becoming better at it, and I think it's more of the challenge of doing something that I'm really not good at, and so I really wanna become good at it, and, this morning I put together another quilt. I'll turn it around for you guys to see. I haven't actually finished quilting. I haven't sewn it all together actually, and, this is more of the Flora and Fun Robert Kaufman prints, but these ones are all in the pink. Then I had some extra, like, just plain pink, and then this, like, brown. I don't know if you guys can actually tell, but it's sort of like a pinkish brown. I'm really loving pink and brown lately, if you can tell. Anyway, that's the next one. A little teaser for you guys. Next one that I'm making. If you like it, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear if you think it's ugly or if you would buy this for someone that you know is expecting a baby. Okay, thanks so much for watching, and remember, done is better than perfect.